Welcome everyone on the day 21. Today we're going to talk about that how do we compare objects. You know how to compare numbers, it's based on the numerical value. You know how to go and compare strings because we have the alphabetical ordering to go and compare two strings. But how do we compare the objects? That we do with the help of the comparable and the comparator interface. What they are, how it works, in this video we're going to deep dive that. How do we compare things, right? So sir, we know that, let's say that if there are two numbers, number 1 is equals to 1 and number 2 is equals to 5. If I have to call and compare, there is already a method like a greater than, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals to, not equals to, equals to operator. So we already have a way to compare the numbers in the world of Java. Similarly, we also have the ways to compare strings, right? For example, string name1 is equals to Vishwa, and then you have a string name2 is equals to Mohan. We can still compare name1 and name2, and we can do with the help of the equals method if they are same or not. Fair enough. This is great, but let's say that I have a object. Let's say that I have a person object, and this person object has two attributes. One is called as age, and there's another attribute called as a name. And I want to compare two persons. I want to arrange the two persons. If I'm going to try to compare the two objects, how do I do it? Because in the real world also sometimes, let's say that you are in a class and there are multiple students. So normally class teacher, what he or she does is arranges you in the increasing order of the height. The person having the biggest height, who is the tallest, goes in the last row, and the one with the smallest height is sitting on the first row itself. So that again you are arranging the objects. How do? You do based on the basis of the height. Let's say that the same thing I want to do in the world of the programming. There should be some way so that I can go and compare objects. There should be some way so that I can go and compare objects. And why you would like to go and compare objects? So that you can do, if you need, you can do the sorting of the objects. Sorting means you can go and arrange the objects. Sometime you can go and compare the objects. So how do we do it? We do it in the world of Java using something called as a comparable interface. So let's say that you want to go and define a class called as person, and you want two classes of the person or two objects of the person to be compared so that I can know that one is before the another or not. I have to go and implement an interface. I go and implement an interface called as comparable. Right? And inside that I go and define a method called as compare to, public int compare to, and then inside this I have another object. Let's say to go and see that with an action with the help of the code directly. I think that will make more sense to us. So I go to my Eclipse, and inside the Eclipse let me go and define another class called as, let me go and call this class as student. Fair enough. Now since I have to go and compare, I have to go and say the implement comparable. Right? This class students implements comparable. Now as soon as I go and do it, I'll have to go and add an implemented method, and that unimplemented method is the compare to. So any class which go and implement the interface called as a comparable, as you can see on the screen, has to go and implement this method called as compare to, which will have the logic of how the objects has to be compared. Logic of how the object has to be compared. Fair enough. Cool. Let me go and remove this. Let me go and define some fields of the string. So I go and say that string name is equals to Vishwa, and let me go and say that int age equals to 99. Let me go and not define this. Let me make use of the constructor to do the same stuff. So I go and say the string name is da 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 da, and then I go and define the using the constructor. So I go and say the source and generate constructor using the fields. Click on generate source, generate constructor using the fields, and it got generated. Oh, sorry, it was already generated. Fair enough. Now what I need to do and compare, I have to write the logic how the two strings should be compared. So let's say that I want to do the comparison based on the age itself. So I go and say that return this dot age minus O, and what I'll have to do is that I'll have to go and cast it. So since it takes object, right, let me go and compare and pass the student itself. And then O dot age. Now I have to cast this O to the student itself so that the age method could be called. So I go and call it the student. And then I go and copy this entire thing. Fair enough. So what I did here, this compare to takes an object, so I have to go and convert this object into the form of the student. This is called as type casting. This is called as the type casting. And I can do this because I know that I will be only passing the student object here. So that's why I'm doing the typecasting. If I don't pass the student object, it might give the typecast exception. Now, if the value of my age is more than the object I'm trying to compare, this will get a value greater than 0. If they are all same, then it will be equals to 0, or if it is less than 0, then it is less than. So this is the logic that I'm using to go and compare two objects, right? And this could be used later in doing the sorting, which we go and learn later on when I go and talk about the concept of called collection frameworks and data structures and algorithm. We'll use this concept, but let's say to make use of it and see if it works. So what I go and do now is, let me go and save this, and inside my test.java class, what I'm going to do now is, let me go and comment all this line and this line as well, and let me go and define something called as a student class. So I go and create the two students, student1 equals to new student, and then I go and pass Vishwa 99, and then I have student2 equals to new student Mohan, and this value should be equal to 97. Now this has to be double quotes. And then I go and write this, and I go and set student1 dot compare to, and inside that I go and pass student t. Now what should be the output here? Can you guys make a guess? When I go and call it student1 dot compare to student2, it is going to compare the age 99 with the age 97, and inside the logic what we have done, we have called it this dot age, which will be equals to 99, and this will be 97. So 97 minus 99 minus 97. So if I go and run this, this will get me a value as 2. So using this comparable interface, I can actually go and compare the two objects, and you can actually go and define your own logic inside the compare to methods. This will come very handy when we go and start talking about the collection frameworks. Just a quick reference here, and we'll use it again in our coming sessions where we go and talk about collection frameworks. Finally, we have come to the end of this day 21 as well. Very quickly, we have understood that if you have to go and compare your custom defined objects in Java, you have to use either comparable or comparator interface. How do we do it? You already know it. I hope you are having a great time. Please let me know how your learning journey is going on. The more you write comments, the more you like, the more you share, you tag me, that gives me an extra pump to give my 200% all the time. Share this video with your friends to make sure that we are having a big community, and that motivates me to bring more engaging content for you. We are very close to the 30th day where we will completing this streak of learning Java. Maintain that energy, maintain that enthusiasm, and let's crush this together.